considering that One Piece is just as big as Dragon Ball, look at and you know how passionate fans are about stuff. That is a fucking crazy number right there. When One Piece is that fucking popular, Netflix and their track record of terrible live action adaptations, that's pretty
Bro,
damn impressive.
10,000. Go to Ahsoka. Like
Yeah.
the Ahsoka one, my guess is it's going to be somewhere like 2,500 plus reviews. I don't think it's up to 5,000.
2,500. 2,500. There you
And
go.
it's probably 2,500 plus. So who knows? It
Let
could
me
be
share
somewhere
my
between
let me just share
25 and
my
5.
entire.
But just think about that. And that's been out for almost 3 weeks at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the Netflix, didn't that just drop like
Yeah, like a
4 or
couple
5
days
days
ago.
ago?
A couple days ago, and it's already got 10,000 ratings.
Yeah, like
That
that's
speaks volumes.
And I mean, that's a perfect lead in to our next topic, which is
Yep.
Ahsoka. Despite Lucasfilm doing their best to counter signal and do damage control by, for the very first time, Disney Plus releasing their viewership numbers for Ahsoka, even though they have nothing to compare it to. The reality is, when you look at the ratings for the show, when you look at the third-party data, it is not good news for Ahsoka. For a show that they needed to be a big win. This is something that they're putting a lot on. This is a big part of the lead up to the Dave Filoni Mandoverse movie that's supposed to come out like 3 or 4 years from now. And the truth is, the viewership numbers are bad. The reception has been split. I am surprised. I have been saying for months that I thought that this thing was going to have like 95% audience score, that a lot of the core audience that tuned in were going to love it. But unfortunately, not only have not a lot of people tuned in, but the people that have been a little bit split on the reception for the Ahsoka series. And these people are being forced to admit the same thing they were forced to admit for Mando season 3, that the interest just is not there for Star Wars. It has fallen off. New data reveals Ahsoka's weak viewership versus Star Wars other shows. Man, I feel like this same website had a very similar article just a few months ago for Mando. Oh, yeah, they did. Mandalorian season 3 suffers weak premiere viewership. And this is 30% down from the Mandalorian season 3. When you look at these numbers, Jeremy, it's the equivalent. The Ahsoka series is getting the equivalent, at least that premiere did, to what Secret Invasion got.
Yep.
And as we know, Secret Invasion was torched by nearly everybody for being a flop, for being a massive failure in terms of the audience that was actually tuning in. It was a huge disappointment for the MCU. And that looks like the same numbers that Ahsoka is actually getting.
Well, I agree with you. I felt that this series was going to have a much bigger bump in viewership. I felt like there was going to be a lot more interest. Not because I felt like it would be good, because that's why I haven't watched it, because I do feel that they have completely overplayed their hand with Ahsoka. But I just felt like the marketing, there seems to be a ton of hype around it, and it just hasn't made it happen. And to your point, what we just showed, the One Piece live action has over 10,000 audience reviews right now on Rotten Tomatoes. That just came out 3 or 4 days ago. Ahsoka has been out for several weeks now, and it has 2,500 audience reviews. That is a massive indictment of Ahsoka and the interest level that you have. Because what this comes back to, I'm just going to say it right here. Star Wars is not a female-led property. Quit fucking trying to make it that. It's not that. It's not your fucking Disney princess fucking property. It is a historically boys and male-centric property. And the more you move away from that, the less people are going to care. That is just a reality of the situation. It doesn't mean that women aren't interested in Star Wars. It just means that it is a male-centric franchise. And since Disney has taken it over, they have tried everything in their power to make it a female-led, respect women, forces female-led franchise. It's not working. Ahsoka was a character that was very, very popular in a small segment of the fan base. And I think generally speaking was just a character that was looked at from a positive standpoint. You failed with Rey. You failed with Jyn Erso, I think was her name. You failed.
Very memorable character.
Oh, yeah. I rebel. And so now you've gotten a point to where you've taken a character that in a small niche kind of way was very popular with the Clone Wars, and you've tried to elevate her to be the face of this multi-billion-dollar franchise that it spans over 40 years. and it's failing miserably because it was never going to work. So you have overplayed every hand possible, and you get exactly what you deserve. And so that's why we're in this position right now. Ahsoka was never meant to be the leader of this entire universe. She was never meant to be the face of the fucking universe. She was created to give Anakin a more thought out story and kind of evolve him on in the Clone Wars in a cartoon. And I personally think she did a great job of doing that. And I think George and Dave did a great job of doing that. Now you're trying to make her the Luke Skywalker. It ain't gonna work. There's a reason Luke fucking Skywalker is Luke Skywalker, and Ahsoka can't be Luke Skywalker. Can't fake that shit.
And when you look at now kind of where it's heading, and even go back to Dave Filoni's comments from all the way back in 2019, where we heard Ahsoka's voice at the end speaking to Rey with all the other dead Jedi. And then he comes out and says, by the way, you think she's dead? She's not actually dead, right? All these different things, whether it's her being saved with the world between worlds, Ahsoka has become just this incredibly special character, right? They're making sure she's special in every single possible way. And I think it's worn fans to the bone. And I think even people like you and a lot of other fans out there who Ahsoka was a favorite character of theirs, they're kind of done, and they realize that it's run its course and she was never intended to be as central to everything as she is. I had no idea what this is going to do numbers wise. You know, I was saying that in the lead up. I had no idea. I didn't think it was going to do Obi-Wan Kenobi numbers, certainly. But I also thought it had to be at least what Mando season 3 got, if not better, with all the marketing, all the effort they put into this, to pushing this. Even moving it up to 9 p.m., that shows you how much they were trying to make this an event. And it's a big disappointment in the ratings department. I'm even more surprised that the people watching it are a little split on how they feel about the show in and of itself. But either way, it's just one more indication that a lot of people are done with Disney Star Wars. Even the people that got drawn back in after the failure of the sequels, they got drawn back in by some aspects of the Mandoverse and thought that there was hope, whether it's because they actually saw that or because they were lied to by people about there being hope for it to be retconned or whatever. At this point in time, it's pretty easy to see how dead the Star Wars brand is.